do you remember, whether it's like, and that it was very, you're from, you know, that LA area, obviously.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about whether it was celebrities or anything about the hype about that game leading into it and just what it was like at that time?
Super Bowl 17 was great for me because it was a home game.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed in Orange County, California, right now by South Coast Plaza at the Westons. My mom's house is 1 mile away. She fed the team on 2 days. We did the whole team, but it took 2 days. And my aunts, everybody came to the house, and all these guys. The house almost sunk the time we had the hogs, all the linemen and stuff in it. I was home, so it was a home game. I had to get 64 tickets. I had to purchase through guys. And I had, you know, my little league coach, Jim Womack, was there, and, you know, counselors, Ivan McKinney, Lonzo Moore, all the people I grew up with. So it was like a home game, pretty much like Brig Owens in 1972. Washington played at the Coliseum, and they stayed at the Saddleback Inn in my hometown. That's when I became in love with the burgundy and gold, because of Brig. And so I've been following them since 1972. Their home Super Bowl, my home Super Bowl. We went to the game coming home. We had rented a stretch, and we went through Del Taco after the game at 1:30 in the morning with 2 limousines getting tacos. You know what I mean? It's just like,
that's fantastic.
It was, you could, I played in the Rose Bowl. So I won a Rose Bowl and a Super Bowl in the same spot. And hold your ears, we beat the beloved Ohio State Buckeyes, who were undefeated.
I remember that game. Thanks, Doc.
I didn't want to bring it up, but you asked me to do this.
I was a young, bitter kid that day.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl, a Super Bowl in California can only be trumped by the one that they'll have in Vegas.
Right.
And it's just,
because
it has all the elements into it.
Well,
For me, it was family.
What was the pregame hype like? Especially, you look how it's gone now. What was it like at that time? What do you remember about the pregame hype?
That we were exhausted because we had played our Super Bowl against Dallas at RFK.
Oh, yeah.
And really the hangover, we never got over it. If Walker doesn't return that kickoff return, we probably don't win. Because I've never been with a group of guys and we didn't get the extra week. So we beat Dallas. It's euphoric. Nike sends Dallas gear because it was all blue because they thought they would go. We burned it all. None of it, we burned it. So we go out and we're practicing in Anaheim, home of the Rams. And you've got all this thing going. Sam Lagarde, WMAL, the radio broadcast in the lobby of our hotel. We got ribs being done outside. It is a zoo, and you're just exhausted. On the night before, when Joe took us from there to a Pasadena Holiday Inn or whatever, to get away from all of it, you could hear pin drop. Everybody's sound asleep. I looked up, it's dead. We're exhausted. It's too much to ask to go back from a championship game to a Super Bowl, especially when you beat your arch rival.
It's tough.
And then we're doing all this, we're saying all the right stuff, but you could tell it was dead. And then when that kid ran that return back, that was it. You could just tell it. It was like, oh crap, we're about to blow this. And then we shifted gears. And our defense in the second half, it doesn't get enough mention. Rigo's run, 70 chip, gets all the play. I don't think they completed a pass in the second half. That was the most vicious display of defensive dominance, but they just don't get to play because Pettibone never gets his play. That was his finest moment. He's a genius and should be in the Hall of Fame.
I'll be honest, because I didn't grow up in this area, but I remember when I came here and you'd see the talent on defense. I'm like, well, are they going to be that good on defense? And they always were because of that guy and his staff. His staff was really good too, but it started with him. And what do you remember, like, as far as were celebrities a big presence before that game? Do you remember anything with that?
No, because when you stay in Orange County, California, and the game's in Pasadena, you're really never in LA.
Okay.
So with the misconception from people who don't know the area is that had we stayed in Century City or been in Beverly Hills or LA, Westwood, now a whole different ballgame.
That Beverly Hills, that's your neighborhood.
Well, Westwood, yeah, but we went there. And I'm not bragging because when you're broke, you don't want to be in Westwood. You don't want to be in Beverly. You don't want to be anywhere near broke.
No.
Okay,
Right.
so as an undergrad, that's not fun. But if you can afford to be there, then it's great. But no, I don't remember celebrities. I remember our crowd. I remember the Hogettes. I remember Chief Z. I remember all our people. I mean, I think we still travel well. I think we don't get our friends
agree.
on the road.
Oh, definitely. You see them all. You see them all over. All over.
We travel well, and I would never disrespect our fan base. Our fan base, they're having an issue now with our management. So
yeah, it's not. It's
not the team. It's
no,
not has nothing to do with the players.
The passion is still there.
Yeah. I just the being in Pasadena, which again is not LA, and you're going to see. I'm going to make my point this year when the Super Bowl's at SoFi. That's going to give you what you want from me that I can't give you.
True. You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, what's your favorite anecdote from the game? Was there a moment before, during, after that you just kind of like, because we all know, like you said, 70 chip, everybody knows that. But is there a moment for you, or whether it's something somebody said, was it before the game, during the game, after, a moment that stood out to you that you kind of treasure more?
No, it's just split right tight, 70 chip. Because it's just, and then after that, it only is second only to 50 gut against Dallas 7 straight times.
There we go.
There's certain moments, and I'm sure if you talk to George Foreman or Larry or big punchers, it's guys Norton in boxing, heavyweights, guys who just the short ribs from the breastplate down. When you start punching a guy and you hear him grunting, it's the greatest thing can happen in sports. Not the knockout punch, but where you're knocking a guy out into where he surrenders, to where you take a man's will, you take his manhood. And it's like, I try to explain this to people all the time. You don't know, and you never will know what it's like to come out of a huddle and have Joe Jacoby to the right of you. And you go, it's not fair. It's not fair for people. And I played against people that I knew personally, really good friends who played defensive line for the Giants, like Gary Jeter, my boy from US. That was my guy.
Right.
And so we were saying some things that I can't repeat here on the line of scrimmage. And I was just like, I had a bully. My big brother's a bully. And they call them double team blocks, but all I had to do is put a finger. I mean, this dude was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So he's so disrespected.
I agree.
Because if there's a Hall of Fame and he's not in it, then it's not a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he should be.
This dude was phenomenal. And we had him and Otis Wansley. See, you won't hear Otis Wansley's name mentioned. Ask Riggo about Otis Wansley.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just say people, Didier coming on the Wham and doing Zooms, that's 250, 320. Oh, it's too much. And you just keep doing that thing with John Riggins. Yeah. That was fun.
On 70 chip, what is it that stood out the most to you? Like, when do you know he's gone? When do you know? Like, what do you know?
You don't know the horn.
What do you remember about it?
I just hear the diesel horn. When I hear the horn, because your face is planted either in the ground or somebody's gut, you don't see. All you know is I hear the horn. That diesel, whoever that guy was that blew that horn, that's all I heard and all I can remember. And that that you can look up and there's people running. That's all you can know. And that you hear grunt, but the people are running. And then you get up and you go and you see it and the horn goes off and that diesel. I go, okay. You don't know that that's it for the game.
Right.
You do know that that's a chip. And then Charlie Brown, CB, and Alvin Garrett and Joe T rolling out, run scram 3. It just all those things. And Charlie 10 hitch where he blacked the ball is tipped. Bo Camper, I think, got it. And Joe knocks that down.
Huge.
I'm the guy out there, and Charlie did the hitch, and you're going, you know this cover 2, you know what's going on. And you're thinking, oh my God, there's nobody out there. But the guy, he tipped the pass. And so you'll never know what would have happened. It could have hit you in the face and broke your face mask open. But the fact that it was there and you saw it and the athleticism of Theismann, because if he doesn't do that, if they catch it or score, who knows?
Different.
But Joe knocked it down. So
little details of little plays in the game add up.
Oh man, this so you could do, because you're a writer, you could do a book just on maybe 3 sequences of things that happened in 3 different NFC championship games or Super Bowls that were defining. I mean, the people in San Francisco still hate our guts on the Art Monk play, say it wasn't PI. They're still complaining. You know what I mean? They're still complaining. And so there's some really big things. And that's what makes me sad now when I drive up to FedEx and there's no bumper lights that I can drive up, you know, and I look at the stadium now and it really is sad. I'm not kidding.
Oh, no, I'm with you on that.
It rips my heart out, but I understand what people are doing. I understand the statement they're making. It's just that don't ever take anything for granted. I don't care who you are. It's like UConn women's basketball. I used to say, one thing you can count on is Gino. Well, guess what? South Carolina and them, they don't give a damn about you. And that's good for the sport.
It is good for the sport. Yeah.
Good for the sport. Yeah.
It is. But I agree with you. Like even just as a reporter, to see how things have gone it's hard to see because of what this franchise meant to this area and still means. And people still want to. I have a friend, Doc, and I'll just end on this, but I have a friend who's like every summer he tells me I'm done with them. I'm not, Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to root for the Steelers. I'm done with them. 2 weeks ago, I saw him. He's like, I can't quit them. I say this and I told him, I said, Paul, you say this every year. You always do this. You always come back because, as he said, it's my team. And, but like, does he hate the owner? Yes. Does he want to go to games there? No. But does he follow them and watch them? Yeah, because it still matters to him. So I think there's a lot of people like that. And, like I said, test the theory of I'm not going to go back until X. Well, win and then test them because people want to be excited again for it. Look at and so we'll see. But anyway, that's it. Doc, you're the best.
I don't know how you do it. All I can do is think of it as a relative.
Yeah.
If it's family, you don't quit on them. You may not be happy with them and the things they do or say. You don't quit on them. John, there are a lot of people that have quit on the burgundy and gold. And I'll tell you what,
I do think they have.
It's going to even get worse when the name is released.
Yes. Yeah.
And if it's anything like the Wizards name, it's going to be a backfiring you've never seen.
Yeah, they have to get that right.
Because to me, you can't be embarrassed anymore. To me, Wizards, it's embarrassing based on bullets because that's what I grew up. That's what I saw. I feel for Chenier. I feel for the guys that I know that were on that championship team, and they have your name taken, and it's a bogus deal. The Bullets thing was bogus.
Yeah.
This is real, and this, I get it. And I was 15 years earlier. I stopped saying it. So I'm not.
You've been burgundy and gold for a long time.
Late. I've been saying burgundy gold for 20 years. I get it. Because the Native American told me it was offensive. He told me 10 years. I go, okay, cool. But look at my race, my people. I've been called so many different things in my lifetime. And then the worst thing that we're saying, if someone says it, you get offended, but yet you say it to each other all the time. And you make records out of it, make songs and stuff. So nobody's perfect. But this name, when it drops, I just hope it's right.
Yeah,
I just hope it works. We need something to galvanize us. And the only thing that can be is wins.
Yeah, no, that you better win. Yeah, in the end, that's ultimately what's going to matter because you need to excite the area and excite the fan base. And it's easy for people to quit when it's not just, I'm tired of X, Y, and Z, plus they're not winning. But I still know that there's passion that is surrounding this franchise from fans because I hear it. And I've seen the people who dropped off, but you still hear it. But it is like, I'm tired of this scandal, this thing. I'm tired of hearing national people rip on this franchise that I used to love to death, and they don't win. Got to win. Start there and then build it back up. But that's where it has to start. And we'll see, Doc. We'll see. But thanks a lot, man.
John, anytime, man. And give my best to Sheehan.
You're the best.
Later, bro. All right.